Hey everybody, Toby Smith. This is the next big thing. We're back with our Chinatel guests, Colin Tay and George Alvarez. We talked in the last segment about the new model that Chinatel has built, and this model is based on, number one, continuing to partner with the spectrum owners in countries that have a fast-growing population, have the ability to pay for internet connectivity, and number three, being the low-cost provider. And I want to talk about that, George. When you go into, for instance, the Golden Bridge network in China, which you now have the first 2 cities under development, you're expanding to 9 cities, and then, as I understand it, you have the potential to go up to 100 cities with Golden Bridge. They own the spectrum. That's 3.5 gigahertz spectrum in China. And tell us how your approach is. Why are you able to build these networks so inexpensively relative to the other competitors in the market?
Well, that's a great question. Our foundation with our company is based on architectural and engineering. We design the networks ourselves. We implement said designs with local contractors in a very cost-effective manner. We partner with companies like ZTE, obtain best possible pricing from them, benefiting also from the financial windfall that they provide for us as our partners. So when you add the expertise of building wireless networks, Colin and I have been doing that since 1987, and the experience that we've gleaned building over 140 networks worldwide throughout those years gives us a little bit of an edge with regard to secrets of cost savings, effective increased productivity from in-country personnel and subcontractors that allow us to do that, going right down to the basic materials of site installation.
So when the network that you're building at Golden Bridge is sort of build on this. When you build this network, it's on a 3.5 gigahertz, which means that this is a 4G data network that you're bringing out. And ZTE, tell us a little of the technology here, because ZTE has just recently shown that they can provide both a WiMAX technology and a LTE technology simultaneously. How's that network going to work in your case?
Well, we've actually deployed that in Peru. That's the first market that will go live for us in those 8 cities, and that's exactly the technology that we deployed. A WiMAX / LTE dual mode technology. The equipment in the field and the antennas are designed to deliver both products. The software upgrade required to go to LTE is the foundation at the Network Operations Center, or the NOC. So in the field and in the NOC, the equipment that we've installed remains. The LTE upgrade is a software upgrade for which ZTE was one of the leaders in providing this dual solution, of which we implemented in our original network design and in our actual construction of those sites.
So in Peru, your network is a LTE network from the get-go, correct?
Both, WiMAX,
okay.
LTE, they're both.
All right, and then Colin, the product that you're selling, the service you're selling, let's flip back to China for a second. The basic product you're selling is competing against the 3G data networks. Now, last time I was in Shanghai, if I wanted to get a data plan from China Mobile or China Unicom, one of the top vendors there, it was like $30 a month, and it was for like 10 gigabits. In other words, it was fixed amount. How are you guys going to compete with that with your 4G network?
Well, what we have done is one of our important headquarters is in Taiwan. And as you're aware, Taiwan is the leading cutting-edge technology center for the manufacturing of WiMAX components, accessories, and CPEs.
Customer premise equipment for those of you who don't speak telephone.
Exactly.
All right.
And with that relationship in Taiwan, and with the vendors that we're working in Taiwan, we're able to get very good negotiating positions to enable us to create a marketing plan that we feel that we'll be able to compete very, very competitively against our competitors.
Right, so you're basically, you're now coming in with a, let's call it an $8 to $10 a month data plan that provides 10 times the speed of the 3G for 200% less. In other words, instead of $30 a month, $10 a month. Now, NBT, we call that a game changer. That's a value proposition that is pretty hard to beat. Once somebody has gone through the $10 of service, then what happens? Are they out of luck for the rest of the month, or do they just add more to their plan?
They can add more to the plan. They can top up, and the clock restarts.
Wow. All right. So the basic product, whether it's Peru's, and the same thing you're doing in Peru, right? The existing competitors have a 3G data network that, I can't even remember what their currency is down in Peru, but you're actually coming in with about a $10 a month plan or a $9 a month plan that gives 10 times the speed at 200% less cost. Is there anything else in Peru you're doing that with that basic plan that's sexy and exciting?
Yes, we are trying to include one of the technologies that we're working in Taiwan right now to manufacture our CPEs or even our tablets with a SIM chip that will allow us to incorporate certain features like a SIM overlay that will enable us to incorporate a dual number in a CPEs or tablet that will enable us to offer even international roaming at a very, very good competitive rates. We
will get to the tablet in the next segment because I think, as our ex-president said, it's the economy, stupid. You guys are saying it's the tablets too, but I'll do a whole segment on that. Finally, George, the value proposition that you're selling in China in your networks is you're 200% lower cost. You're giving 10 times the speed. How are you going to sell it? Are you going to have stores? Are you going to have what's the marketing plan?
Oh, you have customer service stores where it'll be their primary location for purchasing either the pad or the dongle or the CPE.
And you guys, and Golden Bridge is going to own and operate those stores?
Correct.
Okay.
They'll be marketed under Golden Bridge. In Peru, it's under Perusat, so each one will have its brand. So you have the basic foundation of company stores. Then you have your standard retail distribution with resellers that are in every block, basically, of the entire country. As your secondary, and then recharging. Obviously, most subscribers in China and Peru are on a prepay system. Corporations and government are on post-pay invoicing systems. The prepay credit card call-up, recharge your account is standard operation throughout China, throughout Peru now.
So there's not a lot of accounts receivable, is what you're trying to say?
No, those economies are prepay economies. They pay as you go. They use very little credit, unlike America, and they like to pay cash for those services. So
in sort of general here, to close out this segment, you have you're the low-cost provider, you're the low-cost spectrum owner, you're providing the lowest price by an order of magnitude service, and you're providing 10 times the speed. Your point is, when we go through your performance, and we'll talk about that later, you guys have been very, very conservative on how many people you're going to sell. But the primary market for both of these areas is sort of the 14 to 20 to 30-year-old internet user, because those are the internet users. They can afford $8 to $10 a month.
Well, let's take Peru as an example. You have demographics in the studies that we've established. The marketing plan shows a 13 to 25-year-old consumer that spends an average of 1 SOLE a day. So that's 30 soles a month, which amounts to about $9 to $10 a month of basic connectivity. This doesn't count any type of additional applications or other things that we do to raise ARPUs. But that's the target market. That's a target segment that we focused our plan around, and we establish our models extremely conservative, like you discussed, based on that demographic and the costs of CapEx and OpEx versus an attractive return on our capital investment with conservative numbers. And like you said before, as we'll talk about it in the next segment, but we feel that the pads and these CPEs and dongles are a great foundation for us to establish this connectivity and then move into increase ARPUs.
All right. By the way, ARPU is average revenue per user. These guys are all telco geeks. When we get back, next segment, we're going to talk about two things. Number one, it's the pad stupid. Chinatel is really coming out with some very, very cool technology on not only on pads, but also on SIM cards. And the idea is to be able to take this network, be able to get as much market share you can by having the essentially fantastic value proposition, and then being able to layer in additional services, all of which adds not only additional revenue, but when you've already sold somebody at $10 a month, the next time you add them up for another $5, that is like about a 90% profit margin business, which we like. This is Next Big Thing. We're with Chinatel Group. We're coming right back.